So, Joe, good to see you. A couple of old dinosaurs of the photographic world like us. We've been in the game, what, over 30 years, both of us
over
now?
30, yeah.
Incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
You tell me, Dave. I don't know. I mean, but we've been really lucky, I think, because I mean, imagine youngsters starting out today. You'd think it's all digital technology. It's pretty advanced digital technology. That's certainly not how it was back in the late 70s, early 80s.
Oh, incredible, wasn't it? To think how we used to work and sending off original transparencies and never to be seen of again.
They often weren't, and they often come back with clipped edges, or they were covered in oil, or it was quite heartbreaking sometimes.
Yeah. What would you think is the biggest change then since that kind of era?
Well, there's no doubt that if you think of digital, it's a revolution. It's not an evolution, it's a revolution, totally new technology. In some ways, the actual act of making a picture is exactly the same, though.
Absolutely.
And in many ways, the instrument itself, the primary tools of expression, are also the primary technical tools of the camera, aren't they? The focus point, aperture, shutter speed.
And the fundamentals of what makes a picture works, the composition, the lighting, and being there.
Yes.
The capture of the decisive moment. That's not changed at all, has it?
It hasn't. What has changed is the popularity of landscape photography, though. Isn't it? Absolutely amazing, because it was so difficult to make good pictures with film. I think it's easy to forget that now. You know, the instant feedback of digital. Some of us used to overcome that in, shooting film by using Polaroid. And I knew
nasty stuff.
Yeah, well, it was. But there were people who had 35mm cameras adapted, so that they could expose Polaroid with the equivalent frame scale. I mean, all sorts of things were done to give that security.
The lecturer in my college days used to joke that he'd pull a Polaroid before he even took the camera out the bag, And we take for granted, don't we, now that we can see what we're doing on the back of the camera.
Absolutely, yeah. And so that is a method revolution, for sure. And the fact that you have this sort of security, it's great from a professional point of view. But everybody benefits, so everybody, amateur or professional, benefits from that accelerated learning, accelerated understanding of the process.
But I think, apart from the capturing of the image, one of the biggest changes is what we do with images subsequently, the way the internet has changed that, our whole lives. I mean, I can remember being on a plane coming back from Canada, I think it was about 1994, and reading a magazine, Time magazine, with an article about the internet, and reading this thinking, what is it? I had no idea. It seems an age ago.
And that, you're right, that has really changed things in some ways, even more than the technology of the camera itself, the dissemination of imagery. I mean, there are still magazines and newspapers, perhaps that's surprising, when you think you get so much for free on the internet, but the printed material is still special to people.
So, refresh my memory. How did you get into this game? How did you evolve?
How far back do you want to go? I mean, it's funny, isn't it? And I'd like to know how it is for you. But I mean, I think childhood, the sort of person, the sort of kid you are, makes you a photographer. It did me. I mean, I was really chronically shy, and self-conscious, and so I hated cameras. I actually hated them because I didn't want to be in a picture. And as soon as I saw my father wielding the trusty family box brownie, I was scarpered. And it was only really in about, I think when I left school at 17, he lent me a camera I took a year off before going to uni. Went to New Zealand, worked as a sheep shearer, as a rouseabout in New Zealand. And I took my camera, his camera I should say, plastic Instamatic, shot 4 rolls of 20 exposure film. And when I came back, I said, but I've got these pictures of this beautiful country. And the first thing my father said, 80 photographs, boy? How ridiculously extravagant. It's so funny now, thinking of that. The way that we treat exposures now, which are free. And there was I, one of the most spectacular countries in the world, spent 6 months there and shot 80 exposures in total. So, but anyway, that was the start. And I went to uni, studied fine art, and really discovered the camera doing that. And I loved it because for me, it just, everything about it made sense. We were taught a lot of abstract expressionism, and I've massively gained from the experience of studying painting. But I was always quite a descriptive kind of a person, so for me the camera was a way of drawing, but quickly.
Yeah.
How about you?
Oh, well, I suppose I first started getting this interest in photography when I went off to sea in the Merchant Navy after leaving school. Before that, I got the bug for travel because my family couldn't make up where to live. We kept on emigrating to the other side of the Atlantic twice, in fact, first to America and then to Canada. So I grew up partly in Canada, and then my time at the Merchant Navy, I started trying to document my travels. And suddenly a light bulb went on, and I knew that photography was what I wanted to do. And then I had to bite the bullet and go back to study it properly at college. Seems a long, long time ago now.
Sure is. Cheers.
Cheers.